Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of CSV, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we have a wildlife enthusiast and a wildlife photographer joining us. So, without any further ado, please welcome Anirudh Gopinath.
Hey everybody, I'm Anirudh, and yeah, I've been photographing and documenting wildlife from a very long time, for about 5 years now. So yeah.
Yeah, Anirudh, so I think the first question that I have is so, what got you into the whole wildlife scene? What's so special about it?
Okay, so I think in 2017 or something, when my dad went to I think a 4 day trip to different parts of different forests different forests in Karnataka, and he came back with a lot of like adventurous stories to tell. So hearing that, like listening to all the stories, it just gave me a boost. So I was like, why not do something in wildlife? Because not like we don't have many people talking about wildlife these days. So this like whatever my father told me, this pushed like this motivated me to talk about wildlife and document it. Right?
Um, why photography? Like you do wildlife photography. Why photography, and why have you chosen it as your way to portray wildlife?
Okay, so suppose you encounter a species that you are not sure of. Suppose it's a really distinctive insect that you come across in your garden, or if you're out somewhere, and you take a like, and then you don't know what it is. Like it looks really cool, but then you don't know what it is. So if I ever encounter something like this in my garden or in a wherever I go, like if I encounter it in a forest or a park or my own backyard, I always click a photo and then I research about it and then I post it on my Instagram with all the details. And yeah, so this informs other people. Like suppose if they spot the same thing in their garden or backyard, if they visit a forest or something and spot it, they'll be like for the people who at least follow me, they'll be they probably might know what it is after looking at the post and after what they encounter.
Guys, we'll put Anirudh's wildlife photography Instagram down in the description below, so be sure to check it out. Um,
Right. So you did say that you research about these animals or insects. Has there ever been a scenario where you've researched about them before and then you've gone and looked for them?
No, I haven't been in a scenario like that before.
All right. Another question here. So what's your most favorite jungle that you've been to and why, of course?
Okay, so if I have to, like, I love every forest because I love every terrain. Because each forest has a different terrain. Like if you talk about Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary, it's a dry and deciduous forest. It's a dry and deciduous and scrub forest. If you talk about Kabini, it's a sometimes it's a rainforest and a dry and deciduous forest. If you talk about yeah, so each forest has a different terrain and different it has a different each forest has magic. So if I had to pick one, which is my favorite, I'd probably pick BR Hills. Uh, yeah, so that's my favorite if I had to pick.
Um, I'm actually surprised by that answer because I've not really heard about these great spottings in VR Hills. I mean, recently over the last couple of years, I think Kabani has been the hotspot where all naturalists, natio photographers, where they all go because I think there it's very common to see tigers, leopards, and I think the one Black Panther too. So I
Yeah.
think so that's why I'm a bit surprised by VR Hills. So I mean, from the list you've given us, it's jungles that are only in Karnataka. What about outside Karnataka?
I haven't been to any forest outside Karnataka. Like I've heard about many forests in like the northern India, but I haven't been to any of them. So yeah.
so you've been to a lot of forests in Karnataka. share with us any of your interesting stories about your experiences with the forests over here.
Okay, so this was in BR Hills itself. So when we got back from our safari, we were just like heading back to our log hut, which is like a accommodation available in BR Hills. So we were just heading back to our log hut after the safari, and the evening was really unusual. It was like a very strange evening. I had a vibe that we might spot something, so I had that positive vibe, and I think 30 minutes went by, and we were just like looking for an animal. So talking about the camp that's in BR Hills, it's in the heart of the tiger reserve, so you can spot wild animals coming here in the camp. So we were just like looking out for animals. 30 minutes went by and started to set, like the sun started to set. And after, I think at around 7:15, my dad was talking about his wildlife experience spotting a leopard at the same spot, like where wherever we picked the logger. So he was talking about his experience spotting a leopard right in front of the logger that we're staying in. And after he finished up with his tale to tell, we actually saw a leopard. Like we saw this huge male leopard walking right in front of us, probably like around 100 to 150 meters away from us, but we could still see it. And I just like picked my phone. My dad was like flashing the torch, and we just like recorded it. And yeah, that was really that was one of the most thrilling and most adventurous experience that I've had.
So you got go on a lot of adventures with your dad. Is he sort of your inspiration for all this?
Yeah, he is my inspiration. Like he's the reason why I started wildlife.
Does he do something in the field of wildlife? Is he
Yeah, he does. He contributes to the Wildlife Conservation Society of India.
all right?
So
But
then he
in
must focus on preserving all species that are almost going extinct, right?
Yeah, he sometimes he has webinars to attend, and he like talks to several people about a particular animal that he's been assigned for the day. And yeah, so he does that. He designs posters. He arranges like, a lot of meetings with famous wildlife photographers and a lot of people. So yeah, he is into that.
what in
Right.
sorry.
Mokshi,
Sorry.
if so obviously staying on the lines of preserving jungles here. Um, so I think this was a couple of years back in 2019, if I'm not wrong, where I'm not sure if the plan went through, but I think the government decided to build a flyover or a road through the Bandipur jungle, if I'm not wrong. So what were your thoughts on that?
Um, I haven't really heard that news, but if I had to answer your question, I think like building something in a natural environment, a national park or Bandipur is a tiger reserve right now. So, building something that comforts the human in in a wild animal, the jungle belongs to the wild animal. So, building something that's comfortable for the human in a forest, I don't think that's actually required because the road itself is like the road leading to your camp or wherever you're staying. The road itself is fine, and I don't think there's a need to start building a flyover tiger reserve. So I think I think the idea is not right.
Right. Again, drifting away from the topic here for a bit. So, you did say that you've not been to any jungle outside Karnataka. So, what's your dream jungle? Or what's your dream spot that you want to go to spot animals?
Yeah, so um, I'd like to go to Ranthambore, Bandhavgarh, and even Dandeli. Like Dandeli is in Karnataka, and I haven't been there. So these three spots, like, are my dream. Like I have to go there once I, probably if I get the chance to go there, I'd like to go to these three spots.
Yeah, I've been to Ranthambore and it's definitely a experience that's worth it. We didn't get to see any tigers, but if our car was a little bit faster and we were a few minutes earlier, we actually saw fresh tiger prints in the mud
Mhm.
that were so if you were like a few minutes earlier, we would have spotted one walking right next to our vehicle actually.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on all luck. It's just all luck. It depends on your luck. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because bird is tigers are creatures that aren't very public. They're extremely shy. So spotting a tiger is extremely rare. Another
Yes.
jungle that
Sorry?
I've been to
Uh,
is here in Gujarat.
yeah.
Again, jungle. Obviously, it's known for its lions. And if my counting was right, I think in seventh standard then. Actually, even before, I don't know, fifth standard or something, where I saw around 10 lions together. So that was like one pack. And I took my dad's phone and I was just zooming in everywhere. The pictures turned out to be terrible. I was just randomly clicking because I was so excited. And I saw 10 lions all together and they were playing. And the thing was, every possible jeep and bus that was there came to the spot. And then sadly, we couldn't stay with the lions for a long time because a forest official had to go through and they had to
Yeah.
clear the way and they made us go through. So the thing there was that one of the lioness went a bit forward and it saw a sambar deer, and it was about to like go for the kill. And I have the photos and videos of it actually trying to like feel the grass because it was in the winter season, right? So the grass and the leaves were all extremely crisp. So I remember this really clearly, where the lioness was basically trying to tap the grass and the dried leaves, so that it wouldn't make like a large noise, so that the summer deer goes away. And I know it was just amazing to see. But then the forest official came through, and the summer deer saw the lion, and we ended up not seeing the lion kill, but it was still a thrilling experience. And if I'm not wrong, I went in New Year. So I think this was first Jan of some year. I can't remember the year, but it was an amazing way to start off the year. And I definitely
Yeah.
recommend going to Gir again.
Mm. That's like a really interesting thing.
If you if you had a favorite and the most what's the most amusing animal you've seen up till now that you've been so
Uh,
interested by?
okay, this is a bit hard because like each animal is special for me. But if I had to answer it, probably the tiger because when I encountered my first tiger in Bandipur, I think in 2020, I encountered my first tiger in Bandipur, and the like the the chill the tiger gave me, like as it just like crossed our jeep, um, like I was just like frozen because I was just like frozen, and all I was doing was just like recording the tiger moving. But then when I saw my favorite animal walk right in front of me, it was like a really magical moment, like a really magical moment. And yeah, so uh, this tiger is my favorite animal.
What's the most rare insect or animal that you've spotted?
Okay, so I've so recently, like I think around like 3 to 4 months back, I wrote an article for Citizen Matters, uh, and the article was regarding about a fly species that I had encountered in my backyard. The fly species name was Stomorina xanthogasta, and I wrote an article about this fly. And yeah, so this was a really rare sight. Like when I looked at the fly, it looked like a really different, it wasn't like a normal housefly or something. It looked slightly bigger than a housefly, and it had like really distinctive colors. So I just had to take a picture, and then once this once this contest actually came up, I just like wrote about the fly species because I knew that most of them wouldn't write about flies. So yeah, this is the rare thing that I've spotted, and I haven't spotted it again. So uh,
So basically, I don't know, but I think I've seen a few around. I may be wrong, but it's these slightly bigger houseflies sort of thing. Um,
yeah, I mean like
have this
Not much.
bluish purplish color to it.
Hmm. Yeah, like most of the fly species, except the houseflies and a few other. I think not many people know about it. They just be like, okay, probably this is just another fruit fly or something. They just like use the term fruit fly for everything. Or when they see something bigger, they'll be like, oh, it's just another fly species. But then most of them really don't know what it actually is and what it contributes. For example, like the Somarina xanthus that I talked about, it actually contributes in like it helps crop like it helps in mango cropping. Mango, yeah, so it helps in mango cropping and and then yeah, so like we don't most people don't talk about the like how much a particular species contributes to a certain thing. They just use normal terms, and yeah, so that's
What's so
I'm a bit curious here. So you said that you research on, or you did research on these flies. So have you come across a fly species that is poisonous?
no, I haven't.
Right. Staying on the lines of the whole poisonous thing, if I'm not wrong, I remember one of your was
Yes, that was yeah. Okay, so like I was just like I went to my friend's house, and then when I came back, so his house is like around like 1 to 2 kilometers away. So when I was cycling and then I just came back home, I was parking my cycling inside. So when I was parking my cycle inside, um, I was just like I hit a pot, like the plant pot. So I hit that, and then I actually saw a spectacled cobra, like a juvenile spectacled cobra. It wasn't an adult. It was like probably like a mediocre size of a like it was a mediocre size snake, and it was just like hiding behind the pot. It was like hiding behind, and then I was just like I dropped my cycle. I just stepped like I took a few steps back, and then I just like took a video of it, and after it like put its hood down, like if snakes put their hood up, that means that they're highly alert about something, or they're giving you a last warning to back off. So once it put its hood down, I called my dad and my mom, and then we came out. Like they all came out, and then they started recording it. And then we called a snake guy, like the person who rehabilitates the snake back into its its home. So we called him, and then yeah, so they picked it up, and then they probably left it at a lake, I guess. But then that experience for me was like really shocking because we just moved into this new place like I think like 1.5 month back, and something like this is actually delightful. Like it actually put up a smile on my face, and yeah.
I know there are at least 1,000 people that can agree with me here. You're one of the very few people who find a snake encounter very thrilling and or some experience that puts a smile on your face. Um, so another thing, staying on the whole, you taking photographs. So do you see yourself advancing in this whole industry and like becoming a proper photographer, say for Nat Geo or Discovery or something?
Okay, so like my goal to do is not that I don't want to become a like I don't want to become only a photographer. So the reason why I'm clicking photos right now is just to inform the people, and my main goal is to slowly start writing articles. Then with the photographs I've clicked all along, I want to write articles about the species that I've encountered. Conserve them, talk to like-minded people, write books, document more, and then probably release a film for Nat Geo or something like that. So I have like a lot of goals left to do. So this photography thing is just one among the goals that I have. So after this, there are a few more things to go. So yeah, there's a long way to go.
That's very interesting. What's so fascinating about wildlife that's uh actually that's maybe disappearing in the next few years? Are there are there any aspects? I know the animals are going extinct, but do you see any other aspects of wildlife uh, go, disappearing in few years?
I'm sorry, I didn't get you. Can you repeat it?
Okay, so we know animals are going extinct because they're being poached,
Yeah.
they're being hunted.
Mhm.
Do you see any other aspects of wildlife uh, disappearing in the coming years?
Yeah, there are a lot of other species that are endangered right now. Most people only talk about tigers or leopards, but then there's also a species called the pangolin. So even that is it's slowly becoming an endangered species, and it's really hard to sight one in the forest. So it's not only about the most the most well-known species like the tiger or any other big cat that's going extinct, but also smaller creatures like these are going extinct and nobody talks about them. So this is one concern.
Okay, I have one question and one thing to say. So I'll say what I have to say first. I think the main thing is because of global warming, there's going to be a lot of loss of habitat because of the sea rising, lot of animals, creatures, environments, everything basically getting submerged due to the increase in sea levels. And coming to the question, so do you think, so you said that there are these smaller creatures that are also going extinct that people aren't talking about. So do you think that those creatures will have a huge impact if they like completely go extinct? Like what's the aftermath of them going extinct?
I mean, like as I said before, each and every animal contributes to the ecosystem, and going extinct wouldn't really give it an impact, but would slowly start to affect the food chain of other species that prey on them. It would affect the food chain. It would affect the forest. It would affect the forest's health. So I wouldn't say that the forest might have an impact after the species going extinct. So, yeah.
All right. What's something you've learned over your journey of your whole um wildlife craze and enthusiasm?
I've learned a lot of patience, if I'd say, because waiting for a animal, it takes a lot of effort to just like sit there and hold your camera and just like wait there for like until the animal shows up. So patience is one thing that I've learned, and you know yeah, so that's the main thing that I've learned. And, yeah.
And what's your advice to someone starting out in wildlife photography?
Just like do whatever you like. If you like to photograph, do it. If you like to write articles, do it. Just inform. Just like have one thing in your mind, saying one thing in your mind. Uh, you just have to know that you're gonna impact a lot. Like you're gonna play a big role. You're gonna impact a lot of people. Like whatever you write or whatever you click is gonna impact a lot of things. So yeah, just do whatever you have to do, and you'll go.
Once again, I have something to say and I have a question to ask. So firstly, coming to the thing I have to say here. So as you said, the one thing you've learned in the whole wildlife industry is to have patience. You're the second guest or third guest who actually said the same thing. And our previous guest, Chirag and Krish, said the same thing. So if y'all are into cricket, do check out our previous episode where we interviewed two very young and upcoming cricket stars. Okay, now coming back to the question I had, can you walk us through a day in a jungle, basically, from the time you get up till the time you sleep, taking photos, safaris, eating, and whatnot?
Okay, so for it, I take okay, fine. Let's just take a random tiger reserve or a national park. So the day starts at around like 6:30. Like I wake up by then, quickly get freshened up, wear my clothes, like the ideal clothes for the forest, and I'd step out, and then we go to the reception area, like the main office area where the jeeps assemble for the safari, have a cup of coffee, and then talk to a lot of people about the flora and fauna about the forest. And if I don't know about the forest, I'll just like ask the naturalist about the forest, the type of terrain, the flora and fauna, And then once we get onto the jeep, I wouldn't really, I don't really expect in seeing a big cat or anything, because like each and every animal I see is special. And even if I see like even if I see no mammal, and even if I see no mammal, or I just see a bird or something, I'd be happy with it, because I value every creature. And if I see probably a tiger, I'd be happy, because like I know how to balance things and stuff. So anyway, getting back. So yeah, after the safari, like if we suppose we see a leopard or a tiger, I just like talk about the experience to my the people who didn't come to the safari. I just talk to them about it, and then probably like tell my friends about it as well. And then I always like write a note about my sightings and stuff, so I just include that. And then after that, go for breakfast. And after breakfast, probably just like watch a wildlife documentary presented by the National after that, go for bird watching with my dad, and then I'll take a break. Of course, like I'll snooze for a while, and then yeah, after snoozing, we'll have lunch. After lunch, we'll rest for a while, and then we have our evening safari at 3:30, I guess. So so we go for our safari, and yeah, the same thing as I told about the morning safari. Just like keep my fingers crossed, and whatever comes, it's just like I'll accept it, and I'll value it, and talk to the people who didn't come to the safari or my friends. And yeah, so after the evening safari, I just like have a snack, like a quick snack, and then go back to the room, and then put the animals I cited in my list again. And then after that, I talk to so like people come for a wildlife documentary after the safari with their snacks. So I'd go in front, and then I talk to people, like I talk to people about the terrain of the forest and the kind of birds and animals you sight in the forest. So I do that, and yeah, and then have dinner and go to bed, and then repeat. That's it.
Are
Yeah,
there any
I
other
think
hobbies that
tiny question before you go into that. So I think one fond memory I have of going to JLR and multiple properties they have in Karnataka is the snacks they give are amazing. Like the tea and biscuits. I know this is completely away from the whole wildlife thing, but the biscuits, the budgies, everything is just like it motivates me to like take better pictures and stuff. So I
Like,
just wanted to say that.
yeah, I mean, like, you've been in safari for like 3 hours, and then you're starving, of course, and then the weather changes, like from hot to cold, the weather changes, and that hot budgie would like like heat up, and like yeah, it would just like heat up and then motivate you to get up and go for a picture.
Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, Moksha, go on with your question.
yeah, other than wildlife and photography, do you have any other hobbies that you indulge yourself in?
Yeah, I play basketball in school, and then I play the guitar. Yeah, these two.
So how long have you been playing the guitar now?
Um, I've been learning the guitar. I've been learning how to play the guitar from around 5 to 6 years.
And
So I started learning.
all right, and have you been at any performance? Actually, you've been in my band in the sixth and seventh grade. I mean,
Yeah.
our band. And we used to go to performances together. Uh, uh, we went to um, we went to Thompson's, right? Yeah, Thompson.
Yeah.
Where else? We went to the Dark Fest,
Yep. And I think
Rangasthala or something.
Bangalore International as well, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
was
that
that
was
in?
the Dark Fest.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
Rangasthala or something near.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
we went over there, and we've had like tons of memories together. It's it's slightly picking up now. Let's see where it goes again. Um, yeah.
Okay. I think we have time for one last question. So to end on a good note, so where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10, and 20 years?
Mm, I don't know, like probably doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, but also doing other stuff as well, like with photography, probably writing an article or like yeah, documenting. Like from photography, I'd like to document um, and release it to Geo. So probably that.
All right, perfect. Thank you for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow us on Insta, follow Anirudh on Insta, do all of that. Share his post, share our posts, comment, do whatever you possibly can to support us. And yeah, check out our previous videos too.
Right. And if we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for watching.